Pledge of physical shares. See, you should understand that nowadays almost 99% of the shares traded in the market are in Demat form. Anyhow, let us understand how a pledge works. This portion will help you understand what is a pledge transaction, and in the coming slides we will see about pledge of Demat shares also. See, in case of physical shares, normally the pledger is nothing but a borrower and the pledgee is normally a bank. So the pledger, that is the person who is holding the shares, will approach a bank. He will surrender the certificates to the bank, and the bank in turn will give or sanction the loan based on the agreement they sign. The interest rate will be decided and they will sign the agreement. Accordingly, the bank will release the amount. The borrower will submit the certificate to the bank. Once the borrower repays the amount, the bank will give back the certificates. So this is the simplest form of pledge. But in case of Demat securities, the procedure is little bit different, because we have one more person coming into picture known as depository participant. So we will see how a pledge works in case of Demat shares in the coming topic. Pledge creation of Demat shares. See the diagram, we have given steps. See the first step, the borrower or the pledger, he gives pledge request form to his DP, that is pledger's DP. The pledger's DP in turn forwards the request to pledgee's DP through the depository system. The pledgee's DP in turn forwards the request to pledgee. Here the pledgee in turn will confirm or reject the pledge. In case he confirms the pledge, that is the step number 5. So the first 4 steps are nothing but the borrower submitting pledger request form and it is reaching the pledgee, that is the request is transferred to the pledgee, that is the lender. The 5th step is the pledgee should either confirm or reject the pledge. In case he confirms, it reaches and again pledger's DP through the depository system. So that is step number 5, 6, 7 and 8. Once the pledgee or the lender confirms the pledge transaction, what happens is the balances available in pledger's account, that is the borrower's account, normally it would be free balance. As I said earlier, it is free to transfer from one account to another. Now such balance will be transferred or will be marked as pledged balance. It means that hereafter the securities cannot be transferred from one Demat account to another Demat account, because the status has been changed from free balance to pledged balance. So this is about the pledge creation of Demat shares. And see in the diagram, 2 more points we have mentioned. One is agreement, the other one is loan. See here, you should understand that the depository is anywhere not related to the agreement and the transfer of loan. The agreement is decided upon between the 2 parties, that is the borrower and lender. Similarly, the loan amount is also decided between these 2 parties. Nowhere depository comes into picture when about the loan transfer or the agreement. So the fund transfer actually happens outside the depository system. So this is about pledge creation of Demat shares. Pledge creation, few more points to be seen. Here the lender or the borrower submits PRF, pledge request form, and you should also understand that any number of pledge transactions are possible between same set of people, that is pledger and pledgee. Any number of pledge transactions can be done, and it can be done based on same agreement number also. So every agreement carries a number. That number should be quoted in the pledge request form. Okay, so multiple pledge transactions can be done based on same agreement number also. And these are the important points that we should note. Earlier we have seen that agreement number should be mentioned in all pledge transactions, but this concept is optional in CDSL. That is, in CDSL, mentioning agreement number is optional. And moreover, once the DP of Pledgor enters the pledge transaction details into the system will generate a unique number that is known as pledge sequence number. So every pledge transaction has a unique number that is known as pledge sequence number. That serves as the reference number for a particular pledge transaction. And similarly, these are the details that should be mentioned in the pledge request form, like details of securities that should be pledged, and pledge closure date, and the details of Pledgee, the ISIN details or ISIN number of securities, etc. Similarly, and again one more reminder, once the pledge transaction is completed or success, the free balances will be marked as pledged balance in the pledger's account.